Welcome back, everyone. It's Jeff, it's Steve, it's episode 107 of the Steel Target Paint Podcast. I'll be your host for today, along with one of my best friends. Are you there, best friend?
Oh, I am. My new nickname, what does my daughter call me? Gimpy?
Yeah, Limpy, Gimpy. Let's get right into it.
Man.
When are we going to start competing head to head in Outer Limits? Because now's my chance.
I don't know. What's the penalty from the box?
4 seconds.
It needs to be 2. If we did 2, I think I may still get you.
If we did 2, you might get me, even if I took the 2.
That's
So
funny.
now, if for those of you that aren't on Facebook, Steve posted a picture of his ankle doing his best imitation of a pumpkin, and
Man,
how did this happen, Steve?
very carefully.
Yeah, I guess
So,
so.
I've talked a little bit about it on the podcast before, but well, it's been almost 2 years. I played tennis probably, on average 2 days, some days 3 days a week, and we'll play anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. And outside of the initial intent of playing tennis was because I never played tennis before, really, um, was to spend time with the kids. My wife plays, and both my girls play. My youngest one and my wife play a lot, so my youngest one probably plays 4 or 5 days a week during the summer. It's probably 6 days a week, but it's just an opportunity for us to spend time together doing something that's fun without a phone in your hand and all that kind of stuff. And so this past Monday night, yeah, we were playing for it was 2 hours and 43 minutes to be exact.
Okay.
And we're in the last game. We only had maybe 1 or 2 points left, and we were gonna win. And I cut across the court, and somehow the court grabbed my shoe and just threw me.
This
So
this demon
yeah,
from Hades reached up through the court and
no,
grabbed your ankle.
yeah, and it rolled, and I heard all the crunchy stuff, and I was like,
Oh,
oh,
jeez.
yeah. And it's the same ankle I turned 30 years ago, almost to the day, 30 years ago. Same situation. So it went to the doctor, or actually went to the hospital because I was concerned that it was broke, and
Mm-hmm.
figured if we're gonna do something with that, might as well get a cast or whatever's gonna happen there. And yeah, I don't know, man. I got home at 4 o'clock in the morning. It's not broke, but I got to follow up to the orthopedic slash foot doctor tomorrow to make sure that there's no ligaments or tendons jacked up in there. So they saw a spot of something, but who knows? Could have been a shadow. I don't know. But I'm gonna go do that tomorrow.
Could have been part of
So,
the court, it sounds like.
man, I'm telling you what a bad deal.
So with that being explained, and us being what about maybe 11, 12 days away from Area 6, uh are we gonna see your beautifully bearded face at the match?
I sent a note to Jamie earlier today that I won't be going. It's just, man, I know it's gonna get better, but the last time I did this, it was a pretty painful process for at least 3 to 4 weeks, and then walk with a brace on my foot. I got a new one tonight, so
Hmm.
I'm gonna try that and see if I can at least stand up and move around a little bit. But man, it just ticks
I
you
can
off,
feel
you
for
know?
you. I growing up, I used to play a lot of club and uh, just pick up volleyball, and I twisted both ankles twice,
No,
and
geez.
they got to the point where if I stepped on a rock the wrong way, my ankle would roll, and
That's
so
it.
you got to be careful. I remember one of the biggest things that they told me back then, I don't know if it's true now, is that when you finally get to start walking on it without any kind of boot, is to walk as normal as possible, even if it's slow.
Yeah.
You don't want to start walking on uh, favoring it too much because you're going to end up causing problems in your hips. And I am older than you are, Steve, but you're getting up there. So, be careful.
Oh man, it just sucks because I like working out and all that kind of stuff. And I was looking forward to the match and all that kind of deal. But hey, in other related news,
Yes.
you have absolutely no idea what I've got here in my hands, and I promise you're gonna laugh.
Okay. Well, I have no idea and I'm gonna laugh. I was gonna say one of the new Rackers, but that doesn't fit. So,
No, no.
um, do I get any other hints? Let's see. No idea. I'm gonna laugh. Is it a llama in honor of Brian Conley?
No, it's so back a few years back, I was messing around with different guns to shoot. I don't even know if it was 2016 or so, but Volkortson used to actually sell the the Scorpion with an all steel upper. So that's actually, so I've got one. I've had it in the safe for a while. So I've got that, put my comp on it, and
I could
I've
make my
got,
gun. Wait, I could make my gun heavier than it already is.
oh yeah. So the last time I talked to Scott about it, it's been a while, but they stopped making them for some reason. But I actually like a heavier gun. So no, this bad boy's nice. But what I did do is I just bolted on a set of grips and magwells and no Dremel needed. They fit right on there.
I knew this was coming, and you told me I couldn't say anything to anybody until it was ready. So these
Yep.
are the Scorpion Ready.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Steve Foster grips. I can't call them anything but that because that's everybody
Yeah.
knows what I'm talking about. I don't care if they've got a real name.
I call them the Big Daddy grips in
Big
Magwell, but
Daddy grips. There you
yeah.
go. So these
So
are just no dremeling needed.
nope, nope, nope. I did have to make a slight modification. One of the things that I forgot when we designed them, so it only takes just a quick second, but I'll do those. I ran 10, and somebody actually bought two sets of them.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've got one here, so I only got a handful left. But the grip screws, for whatever reason, on the Scorpion are just a little bit.
Fatter. They're
Yeah,
fatter.
just
I
a little, just a
When
little.
I had to
No.
do the modifications to mine, yes, there was some dremeling of the magwell to get it to fit, but there is also that opening up of uh that hole for the grip screw. Absolutely. Um I forgot to mention that, but you know that now.
I- well, I'm trying to find in my collection of many many guns here. I'm trying to find a Mark III magazine, but the Mark IV magazine's working out. They just tried that. I've got like 50 million of those floating around.
Well, get this. If you take like I have the Volquartsen base pads on a set of mags.
Uh huh.
They work in a 3 or a 4.
Do they?
Yeah, but
'Cause- hmm.
regular threes don't work in a 4.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
It's a tight fit. It's there's just enough change in it that makes a difference. And I think part of it is the same reason why the grips that are made for a 4, even after you Dremel them, go on pretty tight on a 3. I think the grip is slightly fatter. You'd know
Hmm.
because you've set up the specs for making them.
Yeah, it is just a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a little bit thicker, wider, and it's a little bit longer.
Okay.
But you know what's crazy? I'll tell you this, and then we'll get it back on tangent. So I had somebody over training on Sunday. That's before I injured my ankle. And
Okay.
man, I shot my rimfire pistol iron gun. I think I may have shot it once at the World Rimfire match. Man, I got out there shooting that thing. I was like, that trigger with those grips on there. Oh my gosh, Jeff, it's like a whole different gun.
You know what I did? I
Oh,
took the lower that has the brass grips and put it on, put the iron sight upper on it.
yeah,
Oh my God.
lights out, huh?
I mean,
E-
you still do have to line stuff up, but
I'm
it
sure.
it moves very little and feels so good. And I'm with you. I prefer a heavier gun. Uh, a lot of people like a lighter gun, and I joke about it all the time. It's why they make blue cars and yellow cars. Everybody
Yeah,
gets to
for
put
sure,
together what they like.
for
Um,
sure.
for me, I don't think the transitions that we make, even on a speed option, uh, or today do an accelerator, are that critical that a light gun makes it that much faster. But again, everybody has their own opinion, and everybody what did I just see? Somebody put together a gun that was, I don't know, less than 3 pounds. It was insane. I don't know how you would put together a rimfire rifle, any rifle less than 3 pounds.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's
Maybe I
I think.
was dreaming it. I don't know.
Well, I think part of it is the stability at speed, right? So
Yes,
I think a little bit heavier gun will be a little bit more stable at speed.
right.
Hmm.
Well, one of the jokes I always used to make was the one year that Colby came out and shot the
Oh yeah,
Volquartsen bench rest stock that weighed about 8 pounds.
I think that gun was man. It had to be at least that, wasn't it?
It was heavy,
It was
and
heavy.
he won RFRI. Now, it's just like when people say, "Oh well, BJ Norris shoots his carry optics gun is better than his open gun." It's like, yeah, because he's BJ Norris, and same thing. This was Kobe Pavlik, multiple world champion.
Yep.
So, you know, I'm not shooting that gun. Well, maybe I am. I don't know. That gun seemed really heavy, but again, it worked for him. So
Yeah, yeah.
that the proof is in the records of that year, and that he was number one on the list for RFRI. So
Well,
you're not making Area 6. Well, Area 6 is still going to be a pretty good match without you, Steve. I know there's a lot of people going, uh, a lot of people coming up from the WAC, which is good. Some are making, it's because it's relatively close. It's only about 4 hours from Clearwater. I know a lot of people are driving up Saturday morning, shooting Saturday afternoon, and then driving home Saturday night, um, which is great. You know, uh, participate in the match.
yeah, yeah.
It's just with Helene, and then the fact that the next best time after that was Thanksgiving weekend. Um, it's going to be lighter, but it's still going to be a great match.
Yeah, for sure. It's
And
I love that range.
oh my God, you shoot on. You've got they've set it up with uh, cement on every bay.
Yep.
You know, uh, if you go to the range and you're on outer limits, make sure very careful. Zach Jones will tell you what it's like to fall on the outer limits bay because that.
Oh, man, not gonna say any names, Zach Jones.
um, but yeah, and again they do a great job at making sure the plates are at the right height, and it's a great range. Zach and I went up there for a local a couple of months ago. Had a blast. Had a blast. Um, it's a lot of fun. I think it's roundabout. You shoot kind of out of the back of a western, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, absolutely.
uh, thing. I remember we used to do that up at oh, where do we used to hold
It's Griffin.
USCO?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it's South.
Griffin. You're right.
Well,
It was Griffin.
U.S. Steel was at South River, so that
And
was
no,
in
we didn't.
Cowboy
We
Town.
shot Showdown on the bay where they had all the cowboy
Yeah. Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
But it was Griffin, right, that we shot Smoke and Hope out of the back of one of the buildings.
Yep. Yep.
Um, I still talk about that day when I was really fast, and that was the watch this, hold my beer run.
Yeah, I remember
And,
that.
and
Yep.
I think I shot a 1.3 on string 5 with 3 misses. And that's when I got the sage advice from my buddy Steve Foster that said, you should have just tried to beat your worst score. And I have passed that on to all my students from that point on. And I've kind of added the joke that says, if you're just going to go for it, you may as well just rack out 5 rounds, throw them down range, and say, give me 30, because the
Hey,
string's going to be about worth the same.
as long as you get the first one, that's what matters. But Jeff, back to the brass ones. If
Yes.
anybody's interested in a brass set of grips and magwells, let me know. I'll put you on a waiting list. I've got to get. I've got a minimum order quantity. Brass is so stupid expensive. So I'm going to run another small run. I've already got a couple people that have reached out to me, but um, yeah. So reach out to me
Don't
here in
do
the
it,
next week or
people. They're
two.
terrible. They're
They're
terrible.
horrible.
You don't want them. They will not make you faster.
That's right. That's
They're
right.
they're they're ugly on your gun. Don't get them.
Yeah. Hey, and also real quick while we're talking about parts, the triggers had a little bit of a delay for the
Okay.
1922 trigger, so they should ship to me tomorrow. I'm gonna send them overnight, so I should ship those out on Friday. And I think my wife ahead of time because she's gonna be doing a lot of the walking. I'm gonna be putting in
Gotcha.
screws, putting them in little bags. But
Well,
yeah,
I think you were didn't
I've got a
you? I think you were keeping everybody updated too. I thought I saw something post on
yep,
Facebook.
yep. I put it out there on Facebook, so I was
Yeah.
hoping to ship them 2 days ago, but that's just the life of manufacturing and finishing and all that kind of stuff. So,
Yep.
man, it's got a lot of them sold. So we'll see how sales do right after I open them back up. You can still buy them through back orders. Some of the special colors are really taken off. Gold's only just a handful of those, but boy, a lot of people love red and opened up blue for the first time. Cost a little bit extra money for me to make a different color because you have lot minimums, but there's a lot of people out there that are going to get blue and red triggers, so that's great. And then of course more people like black than any other color, but I don't know, Jeff, they haven't come over to the gold side yet.
That's okay. I have one. Andre has one, and our guns are beautiful.
Yeah, yes they are, yes they are.
No, I was shooting uh this week. We were working accelerator in preparation for Area 5, and uh
Area 6, you mean?
yeah, that's what I meant. Why did I say Area 5?
I don't
Area
know,
6.
Area
It was a
5.
test. It was a test. You're listening. That's good.
Hey, Area 5's coming up soon in like 7 months, man.
Okay. You're lucky that I can like cut this because I was about to say something really, really nasty to you. Jerk.
It's a G-rated show, Jeff.
No, so yes, and getting prepped for Area 6, and there's of the students that shoot RFPO that I have, about 4 of them uh have Mark 3, Mark 4s, and they've all got the trigger in, and they're all just crushing it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, Andre he's getting close to grandmaster, getting those speeds. He threw 3 strings in a row in the 2 O's on accelerator today in RFPO.
Woo!
Yeah, he was
Woo!
cooking.
Yeah, I remember
And
when I met him in February. He was a good shooter. He said
yeah.
he was just getting into it or getting back into it, but he shot pretty well.
Yeah, he just passed a year not too long ago, and he was a bullseye shooter.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
And it was so funny because as he when he first started, he was very erect in his stance, and he came out today, and man, he got down in that athletic stance, and he was ripping the gun. It was awesome to
Yeah, that's
see.
cool. That's
So
awesome.
yeah, well, that's as you know, as a coach, it's really rewarding when you suddenly see your students start to grasp
Oh
and
yeah.
and put down some crazy times.
And
And
and and it's a process too sometimes, right? For the last
absolutely.
couple of weeks I've had a couple of groups down and from all out of state, and we're working on a couple things, and man, just to see their face when they finally put some of those things together, and it's just like, holy cow. Yeah, it's I really enjoy it. I really do. I wish I had more time to do it and more availability to do it, but yeah, it's
My
really cool, man.
For me, probably the most fun is because you're in a practice environment, you're not at a match.
Mhm.
And you can see the student has the potential to go faster, but they're
Yeah.
afraid to go faster.
Yeah.
And you remind them, hey, you're in training. Misses don't matter. Nobody's
Yep.
recording these.
Yep.
Start pushing yourself.
Yep.
And the next thing they're a 2-5 shooter on whatever stage, pick a stage, say 2-5 on, Smoking Hope. And next thing you know, they're pulling 225s without even thinking about it. And you're like, okay, now go faster. And they're like, well, how do I go faster? I'm like, okay, great. This is the beautiful part about the AMG timers. You can start breaking down where your splits. I can show you comparison of different strings. And next thing you know, they're they're in those low twos and they can't wait until they break that two barrier. And that's what's fun. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this.
Shoot.
When it comes to students,
Mhm.
would you rather, I mean, we'll work with anybody, but do you find it easier to work with someone who's very accurate but has trouble going fast, or somebody who's fast but has trouble being accurate?
Yeah, they're two different shooting tendencies. The accurate part tends to be just a dash easier, just because typically those folks have more time behind the trigger. But and I'm not going to mention any names. There's like three names that just popped in my head that I worked with. I had somebody that was a precision shooter. Didn't go to the Olympics, but that type of did a lot of that kind of thing. Our friend Adam
Mm-hmm.
Reno was the same way.
I
Um,
was gonna say, was it
yeah,
Adam?
no, 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 but he came to mind too. So I think it's always better to have that accuracy than because that means they have a lot of the other fundamentals down. That could be a little bit easier, but I would say it's just different.
Yeah, I would
I'd
have
say
to
it's just
agree.
different.
You have to definitely use different techniques. I know I've got one student who just loves to go fast. Like,
Hmm.
doesn't really matter. Now, he started right at the end of his 11th year. And, within a month, he turned 12 and he just turned 13. And the fun part about him is that I let him continue to go fast.
Yeah.
But I told him, I said, at any point in time, if I ask you where you missed a plate, you better be able to tell me where it is, which means he's seeing the dot. He's not just ripping strings for the sake of ripping strings. And then you sit there and you go to them, you're like, okay, now give me a 1 for 1.
Right.
And they are that's what I've been working on now is those shooters that are really fast, being able to take it down just a notch and crushing 1 for 1s because they've been going so fast that 1 for 1s feel like they're going, molasses and winter speed.
Sure, sure, sure.
So it's fun. All right. What else do
So
we have to talk about?
let's talk about timers. You got some in stock
Yes.
there, and
So, Alex lives about an hour from me. And I've been going to these matches and, a lot of locals, going to go to Area 6. Didn't I actually had some at Rimfire Worlds and really forgot to promote it as big, but so I wanted to get help people get them into their hands. And so I told Alex, I said, "You give me the timers, I'll get them sold."
Yeah,
And he's like, "How much do you want?" And I'm like, "I don't want anything right now." I said, "Let
sure.
me just help get timers in people's hands." And it's a based on the history, we won't go over it, but for those that have been involved in the game for a while and try to buy one of the timers, there's a little bit of history there with regards to timing. And so being able to go to somebody and go, "I have it in my hand and you can walk away with it right now," is huge.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so I've got both the commanders and the sidekicks. The sidekicks are really good for dry fire. They come with a nice lanyard. And here's why I like it, because I'm lazy. Okay. My timers are in the van. I don't want to walk out to the van. My sidekicks hanging right near my dry fire area in my house. So I just pull that off, turn it on. I've got the sensitivity set to 10. It picks up clicks on dry fire. It picks up, on both my rim fire, my center fire. It picks up every click on a revolver. And so you can start to get an idea of, what your times are. While I don't personally promote trying to be fast when you do dry fire. I think dry fire is more of a focus and a form type thing. You still have the ability, like on a draw's a draw.
Right.
But if you sit there and you go, well, I'm gonna fake shoot the first four plates and then click on the fifth plate, and that's good. That doesn't. It never works out. So yeah,
Somehow,
so it's really
somehow I
cool.
resemble that remark.
uh,
That's too funny.
well, you have a home range. What are you doing, dry fire? You have a home range.
Well, sometimes it's good when it's raining out or it's overly cold in Georgia.
Oh,
Sorry, Dave.
speaking,
Sorry,
yeah,
Dave. I'm just saying, hey, Dave, will you up there in New York? It's horrible down here.
the struggle is real, Wildies.
It is. It is.
I mean, it was 70 today. I almost had to wear socks when I had my sandals on.
That's too funny.
Oh, so all right. Well, uh, this was
Let's
good talking with you. I'm sorry to hear about your ankle, but hopefully you'll make a quick recovery and we'll get you back on the range. We usually talk about the matches coming up for the rest of the year, and there's really only two. You've got Area 6 coming up, 29th of November, and then you've got the Florida State Steel Challenge, which is a 1 day on December 8th, and then we're into 2025. And Steve,
Man, is that crazy?
2025, the
I
season
don't.
kicks off with two amazing matches that no one should miss either one of
Ah.
these. Okay.
ah.
One of them near and dear to my heart, the eighth annual West Florida Steel Challenge Championships. That's going to be that third weekend in February. It's Valentine's Day weekend, so bring your sweetie down and have some fun shooting. Who knows? There might be some targets shaped as hearts on a special bay for for those that are maybe mad at their significant other. No, we
That's
would
pretty
never do
funny.
that.
No, never.
But 2 weeks after that, Creekside Custom Georgia Steel Challenge Championships at the Pine Tucky Gun Club.
Heck yeah, man. That's gonna be a cool match.
I am
Um,
already in the match. Can't wait.
awesome. I have to check registration, see how Alan's doing there. It's a great range, great match. Had great weather. Oh, it was hot as you know what last year or the year
It
before
was
when we
later
had
in
it.
the year, though, right?
Well, I can't remember. Maybe it was August or September, but man, it was like 100. It had to be one of the like hottest days the
It was
last
because
2 years.
it
It was
was it
so
was
hot.
towards the end of the year because I remember I was going to go and then I didn't because I had something going on with Dad.
Yep, yep. That's
Um,
exactly right. And it was, I
yeah.
think it was like 105 in the shade. It was
Oh
so hot.
Lord. Oh
Oh
Lord.
yeah. It's probably
How was the Nat index as well? You know, they
it,
um
w- it wasn't like that time over at Zach's range over in over in South Carolina.
the mosquitoes.
Yeah.
I still
Oh,
have two of those shirts with a no
yeah.
mosquito sign on them.
Hey, and I think I've shared this before on the podcast, but in case if you're in that situation, the Rainbow Technologies slash Steel Target Paint sunscreen actually has um like a pest repellent in it. So I was putting on sunscreen. Everyone's like, "Why are you putting on sunscreen?" I'm standing there. I mean, Jeff, I've never seen more mosquitoes my entire life. I'm like, "Holy cow!" Um, but anyway, so they weren't landing on me; they were landing on everybody else. So if you get in that situation, use the Rainbow Technologies sunscreen, and you'll be okay.
Nice.
You'll be okay.
Nice. So let's see here. I wanted to do one more check because I'm pretty sure the world speed uh, I thought Zach created a match, but I'm having trouble finding it. I know he created a match. I just got to find it. Um, Matches. I wanted to give the date when it's open. Um,
For the World Speed Shoot,
yeah, I know
thought it
when the
was
match is. I wanted to get when it's opening.
I thought it was like February 1st or something like that, somewhere
It's
in there.
probably Zach's probably going, you dumbass, it's right there in front of your face. Oh wait, Zach would that's Zach's the kindler Jones. I'm the
Uh,
nasty Jones.
ah,
Well, we'll have that for the next one. We'll get that verified as to when the actual World Speed Shooting Championships, World Speed Shooting. Why am I can't find it. Sometimes I have trouble Googling stuff on, or not Googling, but searching for stuff on Practice Score.
well, you're looking for that. You and I talked briefly about it the other night. The minutes from the last USPSA board meeting.
Yep.
Let's talk through that just real quick. So there's going to be no changes to the peak time for 2025. Is that correct? Or for this year?
Uh Basically, don't Zach submitted a request to the board to just say don't make peak time changes right now.
Okay.
Simple as that.
Okay.
The other thing he did present, which was approved, is limited optics being a provisional division.
Okay.
So that
When's
is
that gonna?
fantastic. That'll be hopefully Jan 1.
Okay.
There now here's the interesting take on that. I'm pretty sure it's going to require people to switch to Practice Score 2.0.
Mm,
I'm not 100% sure on that, but I don't believe the limited optics division is in Practice Score 1.0. And so you're not going to be able to use it in 1.0 to get to 2.0.
interesting.
Yes. Or excuse me, you're not going to be able to use it 1.0 to then get it submitted for proper classification. Um, don't hold me to that. I'm not 100% sure. I hope I'm wrong. But if that's the case, then it will require the use of Practice Score 2.0. I am pretty sure that in talking with Zach, because we're both going to be at Area 6, I believe Zach is going to use Practice Score 2.0 at Area 6.
Okay.
So it will probably be, as far as I know, the first time somebody's using 2.0 for a major steel match.
Give it a shot and see what happens.
Exactly. And the good news is that um, if there's anybody who can solve what's going on the fly with the data about practice score, it'll be Zach. So
Heck yeah.
I don't think there's going to be a problem with ensuring that the scores gets done. And there's still a lot of things that need to happen. Some things work, some things don't. I think everything works. I take that back. It's just there's some anomalies between how things used to work and how they work now that people have to get used to. Um, and Zach, I believe, is planning on some articles to help people
Oh, that'd be great.
make their way through for Practice Score 2.0 with regard specifically for Steel Challenge.
Mm.
Appreciate all the other disciplines, but we care about steel.
That's exactly right.
That's
exactly
no offense,
right.
but the Cowboys can figure it out themselves. So, all right, cool beans.
All right,
Well, good talking with you, Steve.
good talking with you, sir.
Hope that ankle feels better, and we'll try to get another one done maybe after Area 6. See, I said 6 that time.
You didn't want to, but
no, I almost said Area 2. I think I need to eat something. I'm getting a little lightheaded over here. Why is my room spinning? Hold on.
No kidding.
All right, everybody.
All right,
Thanks
man.
for listening. Hey, Steve, you know how we end these.
ST Podcast 10 for 10% off at steeltargetpaint.com. Or I'm sorry, rangestore.net. My bad.
See, you got
It
to
should
have
have
some
been
dinner
Steel
too.
Target Paint. I know, right?
All right. Good night,
All
buddy.
right. See you.